What's up, everybody? It's Fish with Dream Vision Yugioh. We got Mike Kelly in the building, and he just won the team Edison tournament at Walt's. Show everybody what you won.
Yeah. My teammate didn't show, but this is what I won. You know, QCR Heavy, QCR Trunade, and QCR MST. Gotta love the back row removal, man.
We got awesome prizing for first place and playing the Amaryllis. So let's get into the deck.
All right, we'll start with the plant engine. You know, most of it's pretty standard. 3 Amaryllis, 3 Titanium, 2 Lone Fire, 2 Dandy. I mean, that's pretty standard with most Amaryllis lists. Nothing spectacular. I mean, I know some people play the Lion. I don't really feel,
Why didn't you play it?
I wanted to keep it at 40 cards, and then for 2, I never really felt the need. When I was playing it, I didn't like it. It felt like a bad draw. I'm like, I'd rather just play the plants that facilitate stuff. That's just me personally. Next, the Light Swarm package. 3 and 3. Most people play 2 and 2 on the Rykos and the Lalas. I upped them to 3 because of the fact that Oppression is a really good card against the deck. So I wanted more outs to Oppression and more outs to Dyna. Lala's a really good card when dealing with, you know, like, you know, I've played in situations where I've had to face a Dyna with a set Oppression, and Lala can just out the Dyna and out the Oppression. Like, it's just really good. And it immune to Deck Dev. Deck Dev is another card you tend to see, but the way I have it built, it's not really that good though. My other ones, Debris and Trooper's Trooper. I don't know. If you play any Light Swarms, Trooper's almost like a necessity. It's a free card, which I'll get into later about free cards, but Debris, I play Dandy, you know. Make the dupes miss timing with the Black Rose. You know, you got Lone Fires as target, you got Rykos as target.
Why'd you do 2 instead of 3 or 1?
When I was testing 1 felt like I never saw it enough. 3 is just too clunky. 2 just felt right. Those are my monsters, 19 monsters. Off to the spells. The Hidden Armories and the Fertilizers, which, speaking of Deck Dev, since I brought it up, these cards allow you to play around Deck Dev because they can get DDR with their spell cards that are extenders that allow for you to set up while, you know, being under Deck Dev. So you can make them take a 3-card investment and still put them behind with Titanium and Dandelion or Titanium and Amaryllis, which without the 3-card investment, it's just hard to deal with on its own. 3 trade-in because I play 6 level 8s. You know, you're going to draw them. You just got to accept the fact you're going to draw them and you want cards to get them out your hand. And these are the targets for Hidden Armory. 1 and 1, that's all you need. You know, you play 3 Hidden Armory, it searches whichever one you need at the time you need it. My body, the reason I play my body is because, for the most part, your goal with this deck is something on this line. Like, you want either that or like that with some tokens. And when you're in that situation, the only cards that really out this situation when you know, have tokens or Dandy with this is mass removal. My body with this just concretes the game. And not to mention, it's called out suppression. So if you're in a situation with like Lone Fire, Tribute, and Dandy, and they chain Oppression, you could chain that as well. Or Debris, target Dandy, you can chain my body to the Oppression. Because Oppression's really good against the deck. I play a lot of outs to it inherently, but the outs that I play inherently to Oppression are just generically good cards as well. So
that destroys as many cards on the field as long
and
as they show as that many.
Charge and Foolish, which foolish. I don't need to explain that. Play Light Swarms. Off to the traps. I play 2D Prison and Mirror Force. The reason I play Battle Traps, Black Wings is probably your roughest matchup. Somewhere between that and maybe Glad Beast. But I noticed the issue I was having with Black Wings were they were punching and they were piercing. When I started playing battle traps, I didn't have that issue because as long as they can't pierce the Amaryllis, and honestly, it's not even just black ones. If you play against other decks, with Amaryllis and like a D prison and they swing at it, if you clear the monster and you can put this in attack, if you can land one attack with Amaryllis, most of the time you're gonna win the match. We'll win that game. Because even though it's only 22 attack, it's really not 2,200 damage. Because you're going to take 8 from the burn and then get it back at end phase. But then they have to kill it. So most of the time, they're normally taking 3,800. If you can do 3,800 with one card, I mean, you know, big monsters. At that point, the deck can just do the rest. Raigeki break. Back to oppression again. More outs for oppression, but also they're versatile in which they're good against other situations as well. Because the thing with playing the traps, you know, even these, they're just generically good when you're dealing with Kaikus or Fossil Diners. It make it hard for your opponent to just side one card and beat your deck with just one card. Because, you know, it's not even just that. You have Raikos, you have Lalas. So you have ways to out Kaiku. You have ways to deal with Vanity Fiend, Fossil Diner. To me, I think it just makes the deck more well-rounded. This is the tech card. Wall of Thorns. I'm going to explain what this does. When a plant monster you control is targeted for an attack, it destroys all attack position monster they control. It's basically a mirror force if they declare an attack on a plant monster. I'm going to explain why this card is probably one of the best cards in the deck. The reason being because most of the time, your board is going to look something like this, 2 tokens and Amaryllis, or even this. And most decks don't have outs to this inherently. So what they try to do, they try to swing at the tokens and leave it by itself so they can maybe Caius in main phase 2. So by doing that, by default, they overextend. They play into these cards. They have to. That's how I won in the finals. When I played against Vayu in the finals, and he was in a situation where he was actually worried about this card because he walked into it game 1 because I had a situation. Well, it was 2 Amaryllis in this. So he Grefford, Vayu. He basically pushed so he could clear this by itself and walked into this card. So when he seen it, game 3, it was a situation like this. Well, it was in defense, but he didn't want to. He didn't really have an out to Titanium, and he kind of had to push into it with like Colossal and another monster to try to, you know, gain some sort of momentum. Also, I had Hidden Armory, so he didn't want to leave it there because I'd have took his monster swung for game. So he played into Mirror Force, and that pretty much sealed it. I guess I could go back to what I meant by free cards earlier, which, you know, I'm pretty sure a few people probably understand what I mean. But when I say free cards, these cards to me are free cards, and I'm going to explain why. Because if you play Charge of Light Brigade with a deck like this, milling 3 for cost is already free. Because even if you mill 1 plant, to me, it's like a plus and a half. Because any plant you mill in the graveyard has it facilitates something. Whether it's Amaryllis or Miracle Fertilizer, to me it's a plus because it replaces something. Worst case scenario, let's say you mill 3 trap cards. It breaks even because you still add a monster. And Card Trooper's the same way. Like, this card does the same thing Charge do. It mills 3 on cards. So you know, Lord knows if you mill Dandy or Amaryllis, it's just, you know. But, you know, if you mill any plant, it does something for the future. You know, DDR, Amaryllis, Fertilizer. But even if you mill all 3, you know, spells and traps, if this card is destroyed, it replaces itself. So it you know, that's what I mean by free cards when I mention these. Guess I could go into the side deck. I guess I'll explain these together. I side these mainly for the frog decks. 3 karma cut, 3 chain disappearance. The reason I like siding these for the frogs because it keeps them honest. If they see chain disappearance, what they'll do, they'll play around it and put 2 Treeborns in the grave, which then plays into karma cut because they'll banish them both. If they see karma cut, they'll play around that, put 1 Treeborn in the grave, which plays in a chain disappearance and banish the other one from the hand and deck. I also side karma cut for like gigabytes because if you know, ultimately their goal is to combo when you don't have back row. But if you apply enough damage to them early, they're forced to do what they can do when they can do it. When you get them in them situations and you have this set, they're going to lone fire for Gigaplant and equip Supervise. If you chain this to the Supervise to target the Gigaplant, even if they have another one engraved, it banishes both. So the Supervise will not have a target when it resolves. Heavy Storm, I side heavy for like back row decks. Or honestly, just going second in general. Decks that may play like Oppression. The reason I side it and I don't main it, because my deck inherently has so much spot removal for back row, I never really felt the need to main it. I just sided for the decks that I needed. And of course, if you play against like frog decks, to me it just feels like one more card that I don't want to see in the frog deck. Bestiary. I'm gonna explain Bestiary. I played 3 Hidden Armories and a Mark of the Rose. So against Glad Beasts, I side this in because I can Mark of the Rose, their GB, attack with it. And I actually have a legitimate target to tag it out, so it removes their monster while gaining advantage to pop their card as well. I side this for like the frog decks. Normally I take the Lalas out because they don't play much back row, and I put in these cutouts like the Duke Lock if they have like the soft lock with Substitute Duke. You know, it just outs that. I sided for other decks too, maybe like decks that play a lot of recruiters like zombies, stuff like that. Cyber Dragon, machines. I mean, other little random rogue decks, but really good against machines. Consecrators, really good against Black Wings. If you can get this up and make a Stardust or a Titanium, you almost kind of win the game with this and like Stardust or Titanium. Because most of the time they're out as Icarus. So if you have this with Titanium or Stardust, you kill their out. I side this for the mirror match or like Gigabytes because I can search it with Hidden Armory, of course, and I can take their lone fire and combo with their card that they used. I guess I'll go to the actual deck. Gazaris, because I play the Bestiary. Like I mentioned, sometimes you don't get to tag out their monster to special Bestiary. Sometimes you open it. But even if you open it against GBs, it's not bad because you get Mark of the Rose and take their monster, set Bestiary, and you can contact into Gazaris. You won't be able to tag it out, but you're not playing GBs, you're playing Amaryllis. Just that alone is so much damage to that deck. You'll probably win the game against them just off taking their monster and destroying 2 cards. I played 2 Fortress Dragon. I have a lot of extra deck space. I don't really use the extra deck too much, so that's why I play 2. And I guess I can go off to the cards I rarely ever make. Catasta, Tempest, because I play Mark of the Rose if I ever take one of their tuners and I have a Lala up. Yugioh, Brio. I'll never really make them too much. Same thing with the 8s. Like, well, at least those. These cards, they're just there to make it 15. I don't ever really make them too often. You know, it's more of a situational thing. Now with the other 8s, Stardust and Red Dragon, I actually play 2 Stardust. You make these pretty consistent because you play Debris. I like Red Dragon Archfiend mainly against like the frog decks because, you know, if you can find an opening, you can just clear the whole board. Stardust, because I play debris. That's why these are made more than anything, because not more than anything, but as far as the 8s, because I play debris. Again with debris, iron chain, target Raikou, it allows for me to make an iron chain. Don't go into it too often, but it's still an option. Ancient Furry, same thing. 3,000 booty. It's pretty big, you know. And in some situations, you might debris for a level 7, make him special summon Lone Fire from your hand and go for Titanium. It doesn't come up too often. Now, I would say this is the one that come up the most. This is what I tend to save my Debris Dragon for, because if I have Debris Dragon with Dandelion engraved, I look at it as it's a hard reset, you know, for one card. And it gives you 2 tokens. And it makes cards miss timing. So if you're playing against like any frog decks that have like, you know, you're under the dupe lock, you can summon Debris, get Dandy, make rules, chainlink 1 Dandy, chainlink 2 rules, and the dupes from miss timing could have destroyed and chainlink 2 or higher. So this is the card I tend to make the most with Debris. Well, I mean, Stardust is like second, because if I have, in a situation where I have control of the game with Titanium and tokens, then I'll Debris for Stardust, which normally Stardust with tokens and Titanium will probably just win the game. And, you know, last but not least, my mic tokens. Gotta do my mic tokens.
Okay.
Looks conceited, but
We'll check out this prizing again. We got the QCRs. How you feel about winning these? You like the prize? How you feel about it?
oh yeah, I like it. I mean, you gotta love the back row removal.
You already know.
Yep.
Fresh. So how you feel about the tournament?
I felt pretty good. Yeah, another thing, me and my teammate, we didn't lose any matches while playing. So he won and I won. So the way the 2v2s operate is they're kind of like 3v3s in a sense, but in the event that one person wins from either team, then the 2 winners from both teams have to play it out, and the winner of that team, well, the winner of that match is the winner for the team. So it's like a 2 out of 3 for 2 out of 3. In our case, I won all my matches and my teammate won all his matches. So, yeah, I would say it worked pretty good.
All right, we got more card tournaments to come, right? We got one every month over here.
Yep.
All right, so, all right. Congratulations on the W.
Thank you.
Yep.
The difference between us is a pen and a blaster. The line is thin, but I cross first cause I move faster. Consume rappers and produce master blue patterns. Crew tactics never move backwards and refuse master content.